Now, those victims' conditions have not yet been released at this time. I talked with a spokesperson about an hour ago with Horry County Police, and she did not have an update for us. Neighbors tell us actually a dog lived here as well at this home, and they tell me that that dog was also shot and killed. I've reached out to Horry County Police to confirm that information. They have not yet given any of the information connected to that. We'll continue to follow this and talk with neighbors today about this incident that happened last night. Reporting live here in Horry County, Liz Cooper, ABC 15 News. I'm Liz Cooper in Garden City Beach, South Carolina, where you can see behind me plenty of people enjoying this beautiful day ahead of the storm. But just to the side here, you can see crews have already started preparations, pushing sand against these beach accesses, all in hopes to avoid some of the damage Hurricane Dorian can bring to these roads on the other side of the dunes and homes as well. Robert Edge Parkway, just north of 17 there in North Myrtle Beach. As they responded, those lanes have reopened about an hour ago. We have a tweet here from the North Myrtle Beach Fire Rescue Department that when they were on scene there. Now, we're told this wreck all happened just after midnight. Officials say this is a one-car wreck they were responded to, and the driver who died was the only person in that vehicle. The Horry County Deputy Coroner says she plans to release the man's name who died later this afternoon once family is notified. Law enforcement is investigating what led up to this deadly crash. We'll bring you any updates on this deadly wreck on air and online, WPDE.com. Connor and Crystal. Some good and bad news at this hour. Most of the power is restored to people that live nearby here, those Horry Electric Cooperative customers. Bad news, if you are commuting in this area, well, you are still dealing with all lanes blocked here along 707. Now, this is happening just outside the Blackmore neighborhood along 707 in Murrells Inlet, and you can see crews are still working to get this power pole fixed. You can see here, I'm going to zoom in and show you guys, it is completely snapped at the bottom there. We're told this was a one-car wreck. It happened around 2 o'clock this morning. We do not know still how many people were involved, if they were hospitalized, but I can tell you I watched that car get pulled out of this pond here next to where crews are working about 5 o'clock this morning, and it was destroyed. A lot of damage, the whole front end to it. You could barely tell what kind of car it was, the amount of damage after it was pulled out of that water here. They are going to be out here on scene, I'm told, for several hours. Last check here about an hour or so ago, that's what they were telling me. They're obviously busy on scene, so I haven't been able to get an update here. I'm told that Murrells Inlet Garden City Fire is actually heading this investigation of actually what happened leading up to this. I've reached out to the chief there. He says he doesn't have any information at this time, so we're still working to get some details on exactly how this happened. Now, about 30 minutes ago, I had someone from Horry County Schools tell me that school buses were heading out, and this was just going to be a pain for them this morning. I can tell you, coming south down here right now along 707, we have a school bus that stopped right now. I'm not sure if they're going to be able to let the school bus by. We look like we have some power people that are moving some cones, so that might not be as big as a headache for those people that are taking the bus this morning, but definitely affecting a lot of people's commute. Well, unlike the prior debates, you can expect all of the highest polling candidates on the stage at the same time tonight. That includes former Vice President Joe Biden, Senator Elizabeth Warren, Senator Kamala Harris, and Senator Bernie Sanders. Only 10 of the 20 Democratic candidates have qualified for tonight's debate there in Houston. The candidates with the highest polling averages, which are Biden and Warren, will be center stage. In the Lone Star State, it'll be a long night for Democrats debating, going for 3 hours, which is an hour longer than the previous two debates. Candidates will have a little bit more time also to answer questions, 1 minute and 50 seconds for direct responses and 45 seconds for rebuttals. And there will not be any closing statements. They're just expected to make opening statements ahead of tonight's debate. And the debate starts at 8 o'clock tonight here on ABC. The fourth debate is scheduled for October 15th. Connor and Crystal. Whether they were going to be out here assisting in that search again this morning. We have also reached out to a coroner to find out if that man's body was recovered between their search last night and sometime this morning. We still don't have that information, but that's the latest that we know, that crews will not be out here searching this morning. Now, they were searching all day yesterday for about 9 hours, scouring the Intracoastal Waterway for 21-year-old Roger Wigfall. This is video you're seeing here from the search yesterday. His family tells us he goes by trail and he's from Pawleys Island. Rescue crews tell us Wigfall was last seen near mile marker 53, which is just north of the Waka Wache Marina here in Georgetown County. Wigfall family tells us he was boating with friends on Sunday before he disappeared. Horry County Fire Rescue dive teams and SCD&RU sonar units that allowed them to see the bottom of that water overnight. We talked with family yesterday who is still holding on to hope as crews continued the day 2 search yesterday.
Person that's upbeat, one that will joke, that bring a smile to your face, one that was very respectful. Every time he see you, he asks, "How, Pastor, how you doing? Is everything all right?"
Now, loved ones say Wigfall was an excellent swimmer, which is why this has come as a shock to a lot of them. And again, we did reach out to Murrells Inlet Garden City Fire Rescue, who is the lead agency in the search for that missing 21-year-old swimmer. They did just tell me moments ago they will not be out here searching this morning. We are still working to confirm information if that man's body has been recovered overnight. And Crystal and Connor, as soon as I get that information, we'll bring it to you on air and online. Sidney Moore's retrial is scheduled to start this week. He's charged with kidnapping and conspiracy to commit kidnapping Heather Elvis 6 years ago. Elvis was 20 years old at the time she went missing. She was last seen at her parents' home in December 2013. Sometime after that, prosecutors say Elvis's cell phone records show she was near Peachtree Landing in Sauk Estate. Her car was there, but her body has never been found. Sidney Moore and her wife Tammy Moore were both originally charged with Elvis's murder, but those charges were later dropped. A jury found Tammy Moore guilty of kidnapping charges last year. She was sentenced to 60 years in prison. Sidney Moore went on trial the same charges in 2016, but that ended in a hung jury. So now here we are, him serving 10 years for obstruction of justice, and that's from 2017. We will have a crew in the courtroom when his retrial begins to bring you any updates online and on air. Connor?
Liz Cooper joins us from the Breaking News Center with this bizarre story. Liz can't contain herself right now.
Okay, so like live feeds, we get to them every now and again, but this live feed is amazing. If we can have them blow right up. Check this out, you guys. This is a massive animatronic dinosaur making its way from New Jersey to Philadelphia on a tow truck. Wow. All of the stations in Philly are covering this right now. Wow. This is like choppers overhead. Yeah. This is crazy. It's headed to the Academy of Natural Sciences Museum there in Philadelphia. It's part of a new exhibit. It's during morning commute. It happened at 6:45 this morning. It's about 40 minutes from where it left there in Somerdale, New Jersey, to get to Philadelphia. A producer Amanda and I were just in the newsroom, and I was like, "What is that on the live feeds?" And we see this. It's missing its legs and its tail. So it doesn't look as long as it really is supposed to be, but this is happening right now. Live TV, people. This is amazing. So I had to share it with you guys. Well, I couldn't resist.
I'm very into the intro, the prehistoric morning commute.
I have to credit the ABC station there in Philly.
You know what?
That was their thing.
Liz Cooper, you usually bring us the really hard breaking news. Thank you for this.
You're very welcome.
Happy
Wednesday, guys.
I think it's hilarious that Liz showed it, but I don't get why Philly is losing their minds over they really do. This is a chopper, obviously. This is a big deal there.
All the stations and like all 3 major stations.
We got the dino story. You got to cover this one.
Dinos on the move. Thanks, Liz.
You're very welcome. I'm always here for you guys.
We appreciate it.
Switching things up on you guys because we're following this developing story right now out of Atlanta. More than 6 hours after this fire started at Morris Brown College in Atlanta, Georgia, crews are still on scene monitoring some hot spots there. The fire broke out on the top floor of the 3-story building. Check out this video. You can see just how intense this fire was there. Crews say it was used to be used for a dorm room there for students on campus. Now, when crews got on scene overnight, they couldn't get inside to fight the fire because the building was just too unstable. Flames could be seen for miles away. Now, Morris Brown College is a historically black college that opened back in 1881, so a very monumental place there in Atlanta, Georgia. A fire back in June caused more than $100,000 worth of damage at a different building on campus there. So far this morning, no local media reporting any injuries in this morning's fire. Connor and Crystal? Details are still developing, and we're still finding new pictures and images here that are popping up on social media. Here's one video that just popped up not too long ago from outside that bar. Right now, we know at least 23 people are dead after a fire broke out at a bar in the Mexican state of Veracruz. We know 13 people are hurt, and right now officials are calling this incident an attack. They say this happened about 2 hours ago. They believe the fire started with gasoline bombs. Right now, officials say 8 women and 15 men were killed at Bar Cabello Blanco. Officials are searching for the attackers right now. The governor of Veracruz said in a tweet just a few hours ago, which was moments after this fire started, the artful crime will not go unpunished and criminal groups are no longer tolerated. We'll continue following this developing story out of Mexico this morning. And I know the excitement, we were talking about the excitement the first day of school. I remember I was most excited looking forward to wearing my new outfits.
It's all about the shoes.
Yeah, so, see?
There we go.
So we talked about the busy roads, Sonny, but now we're going to talk about when kids are out there, school buses. I mean,
Yep.
Big yellow things, people still tend to not abide by those laws.
Well, you know, it's still dark right now, and we still got kids that are standing right beside the road. So if you're on that commute, school bus stops change from year to year. So if you knew where the school buses were stopping last year, that could be different this morning. So watch for those kids right on the side of the road, because you know they're all about school, not watching that traffic. When you can pass a stopped school bus is very easy. If that school bus stops, those red lights come on a 2-lane road, you got to stop. But if it's a 4-lane road and you're going the opposite way, you can keep going. You don't have to stop anymore. We see a lot of violations in Horry County with this, especially out on roads like 544, 17. So make sure that you know when you can go, when you can stop. The only time you can go is on the opposite direction of a 4-lane road.
Okay, all right. And like you said, I think kids are just so excited. I know we talked about parents as you're getting them ready for school and they're out and about today to have that conversation of school bus safety, but sometimes they're just in the zone and it's on the drivers, hopefully.
Let's look out for them. And, you know, if you've got a little one you know is going to be at the bus stop early in the morning, buy some type of reflective tape, put on their book bag, put on something so they kind of stand out, because they're going to be talking to their friends. They're going to be right on the side of the road. We're on the way to work, wherever we're going, so let's look out for them. And as the school year goes, we'll start understanding where these kids are more.
Awesome. All right. Great advice. As always, Trooper Sonny Collins, Connor and Crystal.